possessed.
Oh, baby.
Oh,
baby.
Referee
Hey.
10 times the WWE secretly saved a WWE superstar. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Drew McIntyre vs Dolph Ziggler, Raw 2020. Now, when delivering a match involving weapons, the referee in WWE can actually play a key role in making sure the weapon doesn't malfunction. When Drew McIntyre wrestled Dolph Ziggler on Raw in 2020, McIntyre began to throw chairs into the ring, and one of the chairs was coming straight for Ziggler's head. Amazingly, the referee intercepted the chair coming towards Ziggler and blocked the steel chair with his hand. This was really quick thinking from the referee, as if it landed on Ziggler's head, then the former world champion could have been seriously hurt. The referee also managed to deliver this save in a subtle way without it being too obvious, which was a clear sign that this particular referee was a pro in helping wrestlers avoid harm or injury. Money in the Bank WrestleMania 22. There's a huge risk of wrestlers being hurt in ladder matches, so the referee or referees in this match can play a crucial role in making sure that everyone stays safe. Whenever a wrestler makes a death-defying leap from the top of the ladder, it's not uncommon for the referee to hold the ladder into place. This ensures that the ladder doesn't topple over and give the wrestler an extra added layer of security and protection. So take for instance the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 22. So one of the final spots of the match saw RVD perform a 5-star frog splash from the top of the ladder onto Finlay. Now, for this spot to work, two referees had to hold the ladder in place, and this allowed RVD to find his balance and execute the spot safely. Just imagine if that referee wasn't there. Could RVD actually balance himself right at the top for too long? The Tough Enough Challenge at SmackDown 2004. One of the most infamous moments of the Ruthless Aggression era saw Daniel Puder shoot on Kurt Angle on SmackDown. When Puder locked in a shoot armbar on Angle, Angle was about to have his arm broken, and this would have been a total disaster not just for Angle, but for WWE. But thankfully, veteran referee Jimmy Corderas noted that Angle was going to be seriously hurt, so he acted as if Puder's shoulders were down on the mat, so he simply counted and awarded the win to Angle. Corderas would discuss why he did this on the It's My House podcast, and this is what the savvy referee had to say. So I'm not an MMA expert, but I kind of got the feeling that once you got him in that Chimera lock, I went, well, this is not good, because if Kurt can't get out of this, he'd rather lose his arm. I'm looking at Al Snow and he's got this look on his face like, oh no. So in my mind, I'm thinking, how do we get out of this without embarrassing your Olympic gold medalist? So when they fell down and Kurt landed on top, it was just an instinctive reaction. I said, the heck with it, I'm counting. I was going to count 3 regardless. And you know, of course, looking back thinking it was an amateur contest, I could have just did 1. But I'm in a professional wrestling ring, and that's how my brain went. Now, according to a report from PW Insider at the time, Angle was legitimately furious backstage at Daniel Puder. As you would expect, Kurt Angle was less than happy backstage at SmackDown after almost being forced to tap out to a tough enough contestant Daniel Puder. Downright ticked off would probably be the best way to describe his mood. The unscripted nature of the contest was the main reason that Angle was made to look so bad, since Puder just reacted to the situation and could have forced Angle to submit had the referees not thought quickly and counted a pin that wasn't there on Puder. Corderas stepped up massively during this segment, and hopefully he received a big thank you from Kurt Angle as well as other WWE officials. Charlotte Flair vs Becky Lynch Evolution pay-per-view. Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch stole the show at the first and only Evolution pay-per-view in 2018. The two would wrestle in an acclaimed last woman standing match, and the common consensus following the match was that the two were robbed of the main event slot of the pay-per-view. The match also drew attention to how incredible of a referee Mike Chioda was, as he managed to help the two execute a spot on more than one occasion. Take for instance when Flair had Lynch locked in the figure 8, and the planned spot was to see Lynch reach for a chair in order to escape. The issue was that Lynch couldn't reach the chair as she was a little bit far away from it. Naturally, due to the way the move works, it would have been difficult for Lynch to reach the chair without Flair breaking the hold completely. But thankfully Mike Chioda nudged the chair over towards Lynch, helping her out and saving the match from quickly turning sour. Also, during the final stages of the match, Lynch would perform a powerbomb on Flair from the apron onto the table. As the move was about to go down, Lynch's leg began to buckle, and the referee smartly held onto the back of Lynch's attire to make sure that she didn't stumble. Chioda's work in this match was outstanding, and it's hardly a surprise that he's considered one of the greatest referees in pro wrestling history. Alberto Del Rio versus the Great Khali on SmackDown 2013. During the Great Khali's final few years in WWE, he was often used to put over other talent. In late 2013, Khali was tasked with putting over Alberto Del Rio on SmackDown. The Great Khali versus Rusev, Raw 2014. Wrestlers rarely forget what the planned finish of the match is, and that is unless you're the Great Khali. On Raw in 2014, Khali was wrestling Rusev, and the finish was to see Rusev make Khali submit. For whatever reason, Khali forgot the finish, and the referee had to remind him whilst he was locked in the submission hold. This was incredibly awkward, as the referee had to say it more than once, and the second time he said it, he was basically screaming at the former world champion to tap out. Damian Priest vs Drew McIntyre, Clash at the Castle 2024. Damian Priest almost suffered a life-altering injury at the Clash of the Castle in 2024. Priest would attempt to dive over the ropes, yet awkwardly he got tangled into the ropes. Without hesitation, the referee jumped in and assisted Priest in getting free. This was 100% the right move, as whilst it was obvious that something had gone seriously wrong, the wrestler's safety should always be the main focus, and the referee knew how to handle the situation. Thankfully, Priest was soon freed, but this spot could have ended really badly. With that being said, the botch was enough to cause short-term damage to his foot, and Priest wouldn't wrestle on TV for an entire month. However, it could have been much worse. Rob Van Dam vs Charlie Haas, SmackDown 2004. Now, a match focusing on a body part isn't anything new, and in 2004 on an episode of SmackDown, the referee had to ensure that the match was focused on this specific body part. RVD was wrestling Charlie Haas, and throughout the match, Haas would target RVD's knee. One of the main spots in the match saw Haas trap RVD's knee and leg in the rope. However, it was clear from the camera angle that RVD wasn't trapped, and he could easily move his leg. The referee managed to see this and decided to help RVD tangle his knee in the rope. This was done discreetly, and the referee was likely thinking that nobody would notice. Interestingly, when the referee was assigned with breaking up the spot, he was the one who freed RVD from the ropes, and due to the referee knowing how he initially tangled his knee, it was an easy save that allowed the match to continue. And Snoop Dogg vs The Miz, WrestleMania 39. And when spots go wrong in a match, everyone must play their part to make sure that the action gets back on track. A major surprise of WrestleMania 39 saw the WWE return of Shane McMahon. McMahon resurfaced during night 2 of the show and challenged The Miz. Whilst this was supposed to be a fun showcase and a return to just pop the crowd, it ended terribly, as McMahon legitimately tore his quadriceps seconds into the match. Like father like son, right? In an act of improvisation, Snoop Dogg, who was the host for the event, would then challenge The Miz, and this would allow McMahon to receive medical assistance. The WWE cameraman would inform Snoop Dogg that he needed to lay out The Miz with a punch, and then referee Jessica Carr subtly told Snoop that he would need to execute a people's elbow. Carr handled this pressure incredibly well, as this was WrestleMania and it was a huge test for the young referee. Carr delivered the instruction in such a way that it looked like she was telling Snoop Dogg the rules of the upcoming match, and she even pointed directly at him, so fans wouldn't have been none the wiser. But there you have it, folks. Times a WWE referee secretly helped a WWE superstar. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.